What's up, guys? My name is the Psychedelic Kid, and today I'm going to be giving you all the tips and tricks of how you can climb out of low elo playing top lane. Let's jump right in. And guys, before we get into anything, if you could just do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. It helps me out a lot as a creator, and I would really appreciate it. We got a lot of stuff coming. We're going to be doing tips and tricks to get out of low elo for every single lane, so stay tuned for that. We also have some more educational content on different things coming and some Twitch and funny stuff as well. So do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. And guys, now that I am done with the shameless plugging, let's get into the tips and tricks. As always, we're going to talk about champion selection first. And I want to start this off by saying what I've been saying the entire time. Pick a few champions and only play those champions. It's going to help you so much, especially in lane, learning your matchups and learning what you're good against. Now, I would suggest, Teemo's a top laner. Quinn's a top laner. I wouldn't use these. You're making it harder on yourself and making it harder on the rest of the team by not having a tank. And honestly, if you're in low elo and you're not carrying the games, you're not destroying with Quinn or Teemo, you're going to most likely lose the game just because you don't have a huge front line. It can work. I'm not saying it can't work, but it's just going to make your life a whole lot harder. So stick to actual, meta top laners. Pick something like Darius, Aurelia, Mord. Sett is really good in low elo, and only play whatever you want to play. It doesn't have to be those champions. Those are just my suggestions, my best champions in the top lane. But you can do whatever. So pick one or two champions and only play those champions. And guys, the next thing we are going to go into is laning. Now, as always, you want to start to get your CS down. If you're having trouble with CSing, figure that out first. Focus on CSing and building as much as you can, because every 2.5 ways, I think it's like 14 to 16 CS is worth the same as a kill. So CS is huge. It's a huge part of laning, and you want to make sure you can CS properly. But if you have that down, you want to then focus on wave control, because top most games is going to be an island. Yes, you're going to get ganked, but for the most part, you're up there. It's you against your laner, and that's it in the early game anyways. So you want to focus on denying your enemy CS. It's going to be a huge part of climbing yourself, because if you're able to get CS and he's not able to CS at all, then you're gonna win top lane easy peasy, no problem. So say you pick a champion, you're really good with the champion, you can trade well, and you go into a matchup and you're killing them. You want to make sure that you're staying ahead of your wave, walking to the front. That way, if he fights you, he's going to come in, you're going to either kill him or make him really low, and you can live. And you're also denying him from collecting that CS yourself. Another good thing to learn, wave control. Make sure you can learn, and I'm going to do a video on this in the future, but there's a ton of YouTube content out for it right now. So I would suggest going and taking a look at that, because it is immensely helpful. A good rule of thumb is if the wave is pushing back to you and you just killed the top laner, push that wave into his tower so it resets. Make him lose all that CS that was pushing towards you. And that way yours pushes back. You get some tower damage, and he doesn't get any of the farm or XP. That's going to be a huge thing in the top lane, guys. I can't stress that enough. Another thing, very helpful during laning, pay attention to where their jungler starts. If you see the bot lane isn't in lane right away, most likely their jungler started bot side. And 9 times out of 10 in low elo games and even high elo games, they're going to start bot side for that better leash. So if you notice that the enemy jungler starts bot side, you want to ward their bush around the 3.5 to 4 minute mark, because that's when they're going to be in the top side clearing their jungle. Especially if you're pushed up in lane, you have to make sure you ward that. Otherwise, he's going to gank you and kill you, and it's just going to be first blood and a ton of gold, and you're going to be that much more behind. Another good thing is, you know, if you're playing Darius or something and you can get kills, by all means, take Ignite, go top. Take Ignite if you can get the kill and it's going to get you ahead. But if not, take TP. And don't use your TP to get to lane unless you have to. If there is a wave and a half or 2 waves pushing to your tower and you're going to lose it if you don't TP, TP up. But otherwise, you really don't want to waste your TPing back into lane, even if you die. Especially if you're not going to lose that much CS. You want to save your TP for TPing to the bot lane if they need help, or more importantly, taking control of objectives such as Drake and Rift Herald. You're not really going to need TP for Rift Herald because it's right up there with you, but you want to focus on the rest of the map while you lane and see what's going on. Because if you can change a fight down bot lane, whether your team was winning or losing, and you can get that Drake and a couple of kills off it, even if you lose some waves top, it's going to help your whole team out so much more and give you an even better lead. So you can go back to top lane and do what you can to get ahead. Also, guys, while you're laning, another huge helpful tip. Say you are winning the lane and the guy, whoever you're facing, whether it be Nasus or whatever, is just farming under tower. You're pushing the wave to their tower and you know you can't dive him. Look around the map, see what you can do. Can you go help your jungler invade the enemy jungler? Can you go down and take a scuttle crab and get some gold? Can you gank mid? Is Rift up? Can you go take Rift by yourself? Can you go help ward? Is there a fight breaking out? You want to be looking at other things you can do if you're pushing the wave into their tower. And also another thing on wave management, if you're winning lane, you don't want to constantly be pushing it into their tower. If they're farming under tower, they're getting gold. Whether you're able to poke them or not, if you're not able to kill them or harass them as much as you should under tower, don't push the wave under tower. Let the wave push to you and still last hit the wave. That way he has to come to you if he wants to get any gold, and then you can fight him if he makes a mistake. So you want to make sure that you're controlling your wave based off of how good you're doing. Now, say you are behind and you're losing, you're against the Darius top, tough matchup for most champions. You're not going to win it. You don't win even at level 6. You want to just farm as safely as possible. I know it's boring. I know it sucks. But you will get these matchups top lane. So what you want to do is focus on just CSing as much as possible without fighting him, and just wait for your jungler and ping him every now and then. You don't have to win top lane to win the game, but if you go top lane and you throw top lane, you will throw the game. So if you can't win the matchup, farm as safely as possible. Look where you can rotate on the map and just catch the wave back into your tower. You don't have to go for kills. If you're going to go in and fight them and you're going to lose the fight, you're just going to lose the wave, the XP, and give them gold when you could have just been sitting there farming a little bit less than you would be. And that's the smart thing to do, and sometimes you're just going to have to suck it up and take those games. They're boring as hell. I know they are. But sometimes it's the best way you can win the game. You got to wait for your jungler, wait to get picks, wait to rotate and help out other lanes, and just don't fight him top until you know you can win the fight. So guys, the next thing I wanted to talk about is items. Now, like I've said in my previous videos, you don't want to use the same items every game. You don't want to use op.gg builds. You don't want to use Poor Officer builds or any other website. You want to look at what you can build to best help you win the game. Those builds are good. Yes, they're really helpful. But you need to learn to adapt to what you're up against. So say you're against a Darius or Aurelia top like we talked about earlier. If you're doing well and you're playing like a CC heavy team fighting tank that's not really going to go for split pushing or solo, if you're doing well, you want to build for yourself first. So build that Bramble Vest first, and then build your mythic item, or build full Thornmail first and then build into your mythic item. That way you can punish your laner more and then get more gold and build the other items quicker that you'll need later in the game, because you're most of the time just going to be fighting your top laner and occasional jungle ganks, but you want to build to fight what you are up against. every time. It's going to help you so much more. The reason why I say don't use pre-builts like op.gg or anything like that is because if you look at them, say you're playing a tanky top laner and it says to build, yeah, you're going to build Thornmail, but it tells you like your third or fourth item. You don't want to do that. You want to build the anti-heal first, so that way you can punish your laner. Same with damage. If you're killing it top lane and you're playing a damage champion, you want to build your damage first. Most of the time that's going to be your mythic item, whether it be Eclipse or Gore Drinker, to help you out. And then you can build for what you're up against. But you want to build for your lane first. That way you can do better in lane and get more ahead yourself. And then worry about other items that'll help you later in the game. And guys, the last thing I wanted to talk about is your macro play. Now by this I mean what you do after laning phase is ended. And most of the time, if you're killing it top lane, your laning phase is going to end quicker than everyone else's because you're going to have that top tower and mid's towers are still going to be up and so's bots. So if you're dominating top lane and you already have your first tower gone, look at how you can influence the map. If you're somebody who can push towers pretty quickly like Sett or Trendamere, or even if you don't push it quickly but you know you can push it, keep pushing top wave. That's going to pull the mid laner or other enemy players to you to allow your teammates to get ahead. But do it safely. Make sure you ward the enemy jungle. That way you're not getting ganked. And always keep an eye on the minimap. If you don't have vision in their jungler and you're pushed up past their tower and you don't know where any of them are, just back off and look at what else you can do. It's not worth taking a risk to get a couple more hits on a tower or anything like that. Also, if you do decide to split push this way, look at the enemy jungler's camps. If you see they're spawned and he's not topside, go take all of his camps. Deny him that gold, deny him that XP, and get yourself ahead more. And then go back to lane and keep pushing the tower and keep an eye on that. Also, if you don't really, you're split pushing, but they're answering and your teammates aren't doing anything really with it, see if bot lane will swap with you. See if they'll go top lane, they can farm safely, and then you can go for another tower. Now, you're in lower elo, so most of the time you're going to have toxic people. They don't want to do that. They don't care what you think, or even though it's the good thing to do. Don't go down there and share XP with them. Just look at what you can do and what's on the map, so that way you can influence. And always keep an eye, especially if you take TP, keep an eye on your TP. So, say Drake's coming up in a minute, but you are split pushing top and nobody's answering to you. Keep split pushing top and then use your TP to get down to Drake to help with the fight. That way you're getting more objectives top lane and then you're also getting the objective at Drake. Same if it was vice versa. If you're over by Drake because you knew Drake was coming up and you went down there, fight it. And then if you have a big wave pushing to your top lane and your top laner's threatening your tower, TP back up and then answer to him. So just keep an eye on the map as much as you can after you have gotten through your first tower. Also, and I keep saying also a lot, focus on elsewhere on the map. If you're not pushing up, go mid. Help him push, give him a gank, and keep an eye on objectives. If you can take Rift by yourself, take it and then split push top. Throw it there, get some damage, and then go around and influence the map everywhere else. If you're playing Shen, and this is very specific to Shen, you really need to keep an eye on the map. Your objective as Shen is to ult as much as possible to turn team fights and get yourself a lead. You can do this with TP too, as I said earlier, but with Shen, that is your goal, is you're ulting around the map just to help your team. But after you take that top tower, your biggest thing is you want to focus on objectives. So split pushing and getting that next tower, and making sure your wave is pushing so that way you can go help and answer to Drake. Now, once other towers start going down, it's team fighting time, you need to take a look at what you can do to help your team. If your team fed and they all inted really hard and you can't fight 5v5, don't go down there and fight 5v5. Don't fight over Drake. Let them have it. Push top lane, make them answer to you, and extend your lead. If the opposite is true and you were doing really well and your team did decently and you know you can win the fight, go with your team and fight. It's time to group up. Yes, it's good to split, but if you're going to win the 5v5, it's so much better to just 5v5, get the kills, and that way you take Baron and Drake and other towers uncontested and unpressured because you just won a 5v5 team fight with your team. So look at the state of the game and decide what you need to do as a top laner, whether that be split pushing and going top and making them answer to you, or team fighting with your team, getting kills and just demolishing them and ending the game. So guys, that is going to be it for this video. Remember, I am also doing this for every other lane, so if I did not cover your lane, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can get notified when I do post the other laning videos. I don't know what I'm doing next, but I will eventually cover them all. Also, I know there are a few things I probably skipped over or missed, so if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I will get back to all of you as quickly as possible. I do want to thank you all for watching this video. Remember, if you did enjoy it, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe button. I would appreciate it greatly. It really helps me out, and it's free to do. I hope you all have a fantastic day, evening, night, whatever you're going into. I will see you all next time.